Hey everyone, we're gonna get into it because we've been going for a while. Luke is waving, obviously, and we're doing a tea break today, and we're doing it for Hermit Chronicles, just to let you all know because sometimes I don't mention it. And I'm your GM Jesse, and obviously I'm here with Isaac and Luke, and yeah, we're gonna talk about, well, the last two episodes. So I'll ask a few questions, and we'll just chat and hang out. Hopefully enjoy this, and hopefully we answer some of your questions. Thank you for asking some of them. That was a refreshing thing. So we're talking about episode 3 and episode 4, just to keep that in context. But what did you guys think, for example, of getting the same birds to come after your characters in the beginning, like as in episode 1? Is it kind of like, oh yeah, that's a good callback, or is it kind of like, yeah, that seems like a normal thing because technically you have been on other missions before as well that has happened?
To me, it feels more like even though we never see them on the actual mission, they're part of the team. In my thoughts, it's like, oh yeah, Caesar's not just gonna keep telling people like, hey, go recruit these, like, go get them.
Yeah.
Like he's keeping information inside.
Sure. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
like the group and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I'm also like, all right, like, even the I'm not saying we're bad guys. I'm just saying even the bad guys, like, facility usually has like a secretary there, like.
Sure. Yeah.
Or like even though you're an evil henchman, you could just be like, well, I'm just doing the plumbing here. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
We're the good guy equivalent of that. Be like, it's kind of like, the janitor that works at Avengers facility. He's like, yeah, I'm an Avenger. They're like, you clean.
yeah, right. That's fair. Yeah, that's a good connection there. That's cool. I like that. What about you, Luke?
Sorry, we're talking about Pixie and Sarge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason why you didn't say that?
No.
Okay. Paranoid about spoilers, but...
I mean, they've heard the names. You know what the funny thing is? I think the reason I didn't say their names is because I didn't say their names in the episode until, like, towards the end of the episode.
Oh, okay.
Or until towards the end of their section. I was like, this is who they are.
I don't know if Pixie still likes me, but it is interesting to see them see the same one. I'll know. Oh, okay, so it's the same colored bird, same shape of birds. It's the same bird. I gotta go. It's not even that he... Who's Pixie? Pixie's guy.
I think it's a they.
They?
Okay. Yes.
They, they'll come, and I know I just have to look so hard.
That's fair. That's good. Yeah. I think kind of like what you said, Isaac, is like, I believed in, like, in itself that they are a part of the team. That's why they kind of do it, because that is their role. They're supposed to do that. So yeah, I agree. That's cool. And so then from there, you guys run after them, go to the locations together, kinda, and you end up in a not newer, but a more friendly secret location. Yeah, because this is one where R is in, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. I didn't really remember. You know what? I could be wrong.
Did you not listen to it either?
I listen to them constantly, but I've just done 4 episodes of everything else. So I'm trying to figure out. You know what? I'm going to say I don't think R is in this one, but I know you guys know you have disguises in this one.
Yeah, this is our tourist, like our Hawaiian shirts and stuff.
Yes, so you definitely have R there.
Because it was... I like R. Oh my god, I just listened to it. Like, I was literally listening to it up into, like, we started recording. And now it's just like, oh, it's gone now. And to fast forward in the story a little bit, who was with Caesar inside of the place?
Or.
It was? Okay.
Or is the eagle that...
Yeah, okay. Yes. Alright.
But there were different things that happened in this episode. You made Or cry by saying...
Oh, was it when, like, the dude was like, I don't like his face. I was like, yeah, yes. He's ugly, but he's ours.
No, that was episode 4, but you made him cry to Caesar. and you took a 10-minute break. That I remember for sure. And Kylie made cookies.
Oh, I remember the cookies now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because you
this
guys
is
have
all
a
before the
kitchen.
mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you, because I think last time you guys met up, you made Kaylee cry.
I was going to say, every episode we make someone emotional.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a classic thing.
That's the devastation we leave behind. We leave someone in an emotional wake.
Exactly. But then, yeah, you did get new equipment. You got your outfits. Now, believe it or not, listeners, I came up with those on the top of my head because I thought that would be the most funny thing. But I really should have consulted what you guys would have wanted. So what in this?
I'll be 100% honest. It would have been the Hawaiian shirt again. Just
yeah, that's true.
I'll be honest. There's like a small collection of those in my closet right now.
Nice.
They're comfy.
Yes, they are very comfy. I don't have any of those. But...
Luke's going into his closet right now. Pulled out a Hawaiian shirt.
A classic Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
I just got one. I think it's in the laundry right now, but it's like it looks really cool, but there's hidden Grogu's all over it. Like him like peering behind like leaves and stuff. It's cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I own maybe 2 or 3 button-up shirts, and none of them are Hawaiian.
Mr. Fancy over here.
No, that means I only wear t-shirts.
Wow. But when you do button up,
oh, I'm all about class. Whatever.
Yeah, you're formal. I'm,
oh yeah.
Like even when I put on a button up, they're like, "Nah, that guy's still just gonna sit on the beach." Yeah, and then that was when I was trying. I was like, "Oh, can I have something to put him?" I forgot which came first. I was just like, "Oh, like a noisemaker," and he's like, "All right, here's a rock." And I was like, "Oh, something to knock him out with," and they're like, "Oh, the same rock."
Yeah, because you rolled so bad.
Those 2 episodes, I was rolling horribly, and just I even brought it up too. I remember I was just like, D&D Beyond, what did I do to you? Like,
yeah.
Try to break it, but is this the museum?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah. That everything went wrong. It was task failed successfully.
Exactly, failed successfully by accidental intervening from the GM.
There was like a 10-minute block where like we rolled nothing but ones.
That was bad.
Even the computer rolled a 1 because I think eventually one of us like got kicked out, right?
Yes, yeah. Well, you both were at the scene of the crime, which is
Yeah, we ended up kicking what's his name out. That was when I was just like, the guy was just like, "Oh, he has a punchable face." I was like, "He has a punchable face, but he's ours. Don't hit him." All right, get out of here. And then we continued our investigation.
Yeah, or yeah. So to peek behind the curtain, I don't know how else to say this. There was a question from someone, and they told me just to leave it anonymous. Basically, the difference between what was said at the briefing to what was actually there was very apparent. And I want to address that by saying I rolled for Caesar's knowledge of what he knew about the object and what was going on. And he rolled a 7. So he knew practically nothing except for what was on the paper. And so originally the dagger was on display, and it was in a glass case. It was surrounded, but then as events have unfolded, they moved it into storage.
Yeah, because I remember in the episodes they were talking about like, oh, there was like break-ins or like murders or something like close by, so everyone was way more on alert.
Yes, exactly. So that is why there's a big difference of what was said to what was shown, or what was seen, because he rolled very poorly with his knowledge of the artifact and what was happening to it. So hopefully that answers your question. Please send more questions. We appreciate that. Even if you don't want to put your name out, that's fine. We won't disclose it. And fan art, obviously. Yeah, so with that, was it confusing for you guys? I know we didn't do them on same days, so you probably didn't remember the briefing anyways, but was it like, oh, this is not what was said, it should have been easier, or I don't know.
I just look at Willie's intelligence on my character sheet, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm playing my character. It's rare that this term is used correctly, but it's what my character would do.
There you go.
Reader and Willie are the most distracted characters I think we've ever played. It's like, all right, we're on a heist. Tacos. A mime, you say.
Even though they were vegan tacos.
Yeah, and it was like you were like, all right, they dropped you off. Just walk to the museum, and we're like, oh, let's talk to this person. Oh, let's talk to the ticket. Like just doing everything in between that we possibly could.
It was perfect though. It was still a lot of fun. It painted a better picture as well. So yeah. What about you, Luke?
Yeah, pretty much what Isaac was saying. Where I like that there's Reader and Willie in this entire adventure. Where like if you were watching 007, he'd be like, okay, let's go in. But for us, yeah, tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just always part of me that's like, oh man, we should have just gone in and grabbed it and left. But it's like, wait, where is it?
Yeah.
So I like that there's an in-game reason why I didn't.
Yeah,
that
that's
didn't
fair.
know. Hopefully people like that. Hopefully it's
yeah.
not like,
I mean, I haven't heard
anything.
Yeah.
You get into the dagger already. We're already 3 minutes in.
Why aren't you there?
Have you guys ever seen the movie Team America World Police?
I watched it like once or twice.
Made by the guys from South Park.
Yeah.
I guess like their original idea is that they wanted to do a shot-for-shot remake of Titanic, but just with puppets. Right. And then it shifted to like an action, like crazy movie, but with puppets. But they were trying to prove they're like, if you just have puppets, it's gonna make it ridiculous, you know? So like, I feel like that is us. We're like, yes, this very serious situation, like high stakes. We're just these fluffy little puppets that make everything silly along the way. We're kind of like a Johnny English, like.
Yes, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's what I love about it. It's like slapstick, kinda, but it's also
we're slapstick with heart.
There you go. That's it. Perfect. Yeah, and also to kind of connect to the beginning, this was also kind of the first time you see Caesar's ability that's prevalent, but like very evident that he cannot be seen unless he's touched in this mode.
Yeah, because with the marbles, it was kind of mostly us by ourselves, and then he came in at the end for the big hug showdown.
Yeah. That's what I should have called it. That is exactly what I should have called the episode. Oh. So yeah, he uses his ability for the first time to do his job. Like, what am I trying to say? Was it like, okay, this is getting ridiculous, or has he touched somebody yet and not known?
If there's like just some kid that brushed and he's just like, Mom, there's a lion right there. Sure there is, sweetie. Come on.
Yes.
No.
They have a lot of exhibits here.
Yeah, could be. What? It just, I don't know. To me, it was this is who he is, so this is how it has to be, but at the same time, I was like, it's kind of ridiculous for him to be invisible. It's an OP power.
It's that OP thing, but like, I recognize it as a DM where I'm just like, I have run campaigns where I'm like, hey, this is that level 20 wizard, and he's just running a shop now. He's retired.
Yeah.
And then my characters pick a fight with him, and I'm like, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Like, don't be murder hobos.
Definitely.
And they're like, oh, this old like shop owner, and then he's like casting multiple fireballs with like counter spells and stuff, and they're just like, why didn't you tell us? I was like, why are you picking on an old man? You brought this upon yourself.
Exactly. What about you, Luke? What do you think?
Yeah, I think with their ability to be overpowered, with that, I think there's also that fact of like, you have to also keep track of like, if Caesar's touching somebody, then
that's true. Well, I was thinking about that as well. Yeah, but yeah, it's a bit
in the episode. I don't think I fully understood that until the next one, where it like really plays a bit of a part, and the weakness of it that I was talking about.
Yeah,
right.
If people can't register him being that, he can't.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I like it. It's an interesting storytelling thing, and just to be like, yeah, nobody's questioning who he is because they don't understand he's there.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a nice light safety net, but don't go jumping into it. Like,
Yeah, basically. It also for me and for him, it was a kind of the defining moment of, we are nothing. We don't exist, because in reality that is his major ability, is that he can make himself not exist. Yeah. So then you guys get into the museum and immediately try to test my knowledge of museums and try and get super close to something, and I was like, I don't understand what they're doing.
I don't like I guess it could have been of like magical means, but I remember I was just like, oh, I'm gonna put my face in this and see if like I trick a laser sensor. And I even remember at the moment I was like, Isaac, we're in like a fantasy era. Why would there be laser beam grids? Or
I don't understand why he's getting so close to it. And I was like, did you touch it? No. Then nothing happened.
Yeah, I was just like, I want to get as close as I can without touching it. And you're like, okay, you do that. Like,
and the fact that you brought Reader with you, I was like, okay. You both are really intensely looking at this thing.
And that was when I was just like, oh, I grab him by the shoulder. I'm like, oh, look at this.
I was thinking that was kind of smart. Just in case the dagger was on display, we know how close we can get to it before we have to start running.
Sure.
That's what was going through my head.
Sure.
That, like,
yeah, same. I was just dagger, like, if it goes bad, then this is, snatch and run.
To where I was like, I don't know what they're doing, so they're just getting close to it. That's funny. And then kind of time passes, you kind of look around, and you go upstairs to the weapons area. Oh no, not just that, but you find these enemies, stalkers, observers, the rooster and the kangaroo, and a mechanical mouse, I believe. So those three were there and following you close behind. Now, listeners, I did mention to these guys there will be a rivalry before the episode, which put them on high alert already. But so I wanted to pull the curtain out from under them and let them see everything, which is why I revealed them. And because of that natural 20, I think it was. Was it a natural 20? For perception or insight or something like that?
I think Luke got it.
Yeah. Or it was more than a 20 maybe, or a natural 20, but that's why you saw all the animals that were kind of watching you, including the curator. Curator? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do remember thinking, like, I need to make sure in case these guys, like, try to fight or something, because I don't want to fight. I don't want to die.
I remember, like, yeah, because you did give us that heads up, and when we were in front of the museum, and you're like, oh, there's these mimes here. I don't know why, but, like, the biggest red alert went off in my brain, and I was like, it's this mime. I was like, I'm gonna have to fight a mime.
And then at that moment, listeners, I should have done it. I should have been like, yep, it's the mime. Yep.
Yeah, because I remember thinking that too. Like, there were mimes, and like, oh, okay, they're going to be like acrobatic cat burglars. Do it.
I was like, and I was thinking too, I was like, oh, they put this mime here to distract me just so they could get the heist done, and we're not able to get inside the museum fast enough. Like,
that is
the amount of scenarios that were going through my brain.
But then it turned out to be a rooster, a kangaroo, and a mechanical mouse or rat thing.
Bird. There was another bird too.
Was there? I don't think so. I think it was just those.
Spoiler.
No, I think there were harpies.
Exploded somebody?
No, so that's the security.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The harpies were the security.
Yeah, the harpies. Yeah. The crow harpies. Now, I think the character, the monster sheet I had, or the character in my head, basically, I think I got harpies right, and the character sheet was right. Or not the character sheet, the monster sheet was right. But I feel like I was actually thinking more of siren than harpy. But
yeah, harpies do have that ability to sing, but it's not like their
it's not their go-to.
Like go to sleep. Boop.
Yeah.
As far as I understand. Also, they're vultures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nitpick.
But yeah, it was the security guards, and apparently in my brain, all these animals are hot for some reason. I don't know why. I made them all attractive. And throughout the whole thing, I was like, yeah, and the harpies, they're really attractive. And then you hear me later on say, oh, and they're really attractive. I even said it, I think, about Celeste, and I was like, I think she's really attractive. And I'm like, why do I keep saying animals are attractive?
Yeah, especially with Celeste, because based on what we understand of her...
Well, Celeste was very important for me to say that she was attractive and young, is because...
Because I remember thinking that. I was like, wait, you describe her as pretty? That's...
Yeah, it's because she...
To each his own.
Yeah, I have a thing. I have a type. It's attractive toads. No, it's because there is a situation, an event that happens that makes Celeste turn into what she does in the prologue of the Animal Kingdom. I mean, so if you don't get that parallel, Celeste is the old hag in Animal Kingdom. It blows your mind, right? And that is why she has the marbles in Animal Kingdom. Because that...
We gave them to her.
Yeah, there you go.
It's our fault.
Yes.
I did this.
Yeah. So, I guess I have like one or two more questions. Basically, when you guys were... Well, I guess for you, Isaac, when you were starting to use your magic, quote unquote, because it was kind of magic, but at the same time it wasn't. So, like infestation, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And then you also used Thunderwave. It to me created a kind of what am I trying to say? Like it was very different than Animal Kingdom, where it's like, I'm angry, I'm gonna punch.
Yeah, well, like, even when I first created this character, like, when we were first talking, like, bringing me on to the show, I was like, all right, because I had, like, several other characters that were more, like, fighter or barbarian-based and stuff, and I was like, oh, well, they don't have really casters or, like a healer or something, and I was just like, my DM brain is like, you have to fill the gap. I'm like, but I want to do something fun, and I was like, you could do both.
Yeah.
So that was the creation of this character. I was like, all right, I could later on get, like healing word and other, like I could do stuff. And like, yes, there's magical things that have been happening in your campaign, but I'm also like, all right, this is more, I guess, grounded magic to go with the story.
Yeah, definitely. It's more like what you said, the bugs and stuff were in your fur already, and the shockwave was the static electricity from your feathers. And... Yeah,
I was just like me scooping my feathers and like hooting at the same time.
Yeah, it's good. No, I love the justification. It was a like, oh man, I gotta think. For me, anyways, it was like I gotta think. Okay, Isaac has magic, so.
I know your whole campaign is like, all right, people fighting, shooting, like cool, and then I'm over here just like spells, and you're like, what is that?
Yeah, I was not ready for any of that. Yeah. So it was just interesting. It's good. It created great story because, like, even though in Infestation, I think they're not, let's say, long lasting. I think it lasts for like a minute or something.
Oh, it doesn't have.
Oh, it doesn't have a duration.
You cause a cloud of mites, fleas, and other parasites to appear momentarily on one creature you can see within range.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a oh, it happens right now, but then they're supposed to go away, but like with the storytelling, I was like, oh my god, look at all those bugs.
Yeah, exactly. And I loved that they came from your fur, and it was like realistic, and they kind of stayed surrounding everything. It was good. I think that was better suited for our campaign. For both of you, did you feel like I was setting you up to go into this glass room, or was it kind of like, oh, it just so happened to be a glass day?
Well, I think I pointed out in the episode, I was like, oh, he could have totally like, this is what I want them to do, and then like we're just like, oh, hey, you remember that we're both humongous people, and you're like, oh yeah, well, good luck.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I
We've made the joke before too. We're like, all right, all of our missions are stealth, not be seen, a giant owlbear and a moose.
Yeah, I did make it. I did set it up to where if it were to, like, I didn't set up for you guys to fail. But I set it up to be very difficult situation with no good result, if that makes sense. Like, if you got through it and you didn't find anything, no game. If you got through it and you caused a whole lot of destruction, worse, like, you end up worse and no gain. So, for me, it was just a funny, I was hoping half hour, which you guys did not disappoint.
Once again, the roles weren't with me,
especially
really.
At the very end, Rita, or Luke, how Rita rolled that natural one, causing everything.
Oh, and the giant domino effect.
Yes. And then to top it off with Willie trying to grab the crow. And he made the giant hole. Oh, thinking about
that was when I started, or no, it was before that. Like, I started bribing people with the taco coupons. Like, hey, you didn't see anything. Also that the quote unquote nerd in the episode. I was like, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that character. And then the more I was listening to it, I was like, man, I'm really bullying this kid. Like, I didn't realize how mean I was being. I'm sorry to that fictional character.
Yes.
But like every time I brought him up, I was like, yeah, that nerd over there. I was like, why am I saying it like that?
It's all his fault. Yeah.
Jesse slowly stops, like, it was like cross it. I was like, no longer self-insert.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not that person. I'm never going to NPC that one. What did you think, Luke, about that whole situation?
Yeah, the natural ones or the...
Just being in the glass room, did I intentionally put you there? Did I not? Was it a funny time? Was it like a stressful time? I don't know.
No, I think in my head it's like we've been to so many rooms. Might as well go into like this glass one now. It's probably gonna be chaos. Also, the idea of like there is glass, but
yeah.
But
now, listeners, again, I did roll if glass exists, so I didn't just make that up. But now that it does, I am utilizing it to the max.
Everything is glass.
That was when Jesse's like, all right, I guess there's glass in this world. Next episode, whole room, just glass.
Just glass, exactly. One rock destroys the entire city.
That's how you create world peace. Give everyone glass houses.
Exactly. Yeah, and then to end it, just for my questions, you guys can ask some, or if you have any thoughts about it. The ending when I always forget her name. I don't know why. Kylie. I don't know why Kylie's not in my brain. Kylie.
I'm also very uncertain if that's right.
I think it is. It makes sense. Kylie. It's fine. The koala. She wishes for the tacos, and then it like blows Isaac's mind. I think it blows Isaac's mind and not Willie's mind, or both.
Yes.
And it was like, oh yeah, you have the wishes, of course. That was just one of my favorite parts, but like, what, have you guys been thinking about your wishes still? Because it hasn't been said.
I have a plan for my wish.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like, we don't know the future.
Sure.
100% certain, so I have to wait, hopefully, for character development to get to where I want it to be in order to use my wish the way I want to use it.
Interesting.
And I'm trying to say this in the most vague way possible.
Okay.
Because even what I'm planning is past what we've recorded.
Oh.
It's further in the future than what we've recorded. But no, I have that planned.
Okay.
But I'm also like, one of my favorite quotes from Mike Tyson, everybody has a plan until they're punched in the face.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. What about you, Luke? Do you have a plan?
The same. Like, I do have a plan. It doesn't require a lot of
brain power. Doesn't allow your
It doesn't have a lot of like. I want to say requirements, but that feels redundant. It doesn't have a lot of requirements. I guess that's how you say it.
Sure.
It doesn't have a lot of requirements. I do have a plan for it, and hopefully I The only thing that needs to happen is that I need to remember to use it. But other than that,
Okay.
but at the moment, it like I can't even say something like, "Oh yes, I would really want blank," because I'm like, "Oh, that could be accidentally making the wish," and stuff like that. But that's not
I
a
thought of
concern.
that too. I'm like, choose your words carefully, as it, because I don't know if Jesse's gonna be like, "Oh, you said it. I don't care."
Yes, I will. I will be very stickly about this.
Yeah, after Kylie, that was one of my first thoughts of like I almost immediately understood. Yeah, okay, that was her wish. Also, if we say anything remotely like that, you're gonna be like, okay, that's your wish.
Yes, exactly. All right, cool. I will keep that in mind. Yeah. So, do you guys have any like last thoughts, comments, questions?
Sorry to that security guard that I killed.
Yeah.
I only meant to push you guys back.
She popped. That was funny. That was funny.
But just
to look
like,
up that
and
noise.
then I remember in episode 2, I was like, because like while we were doing the escape, I was like, all right, I could use this ability, and I was reading it, and it was just like, hey, you cast this like 15-foot cube in front of you, and I was like, where is Reader? And then like all of a sudden I was like, oh, Reader's escaping. I was like, so you're saying he's behind me, correct?
yeah. I'm preparing for something.
Yeah. I was like, because I didn't want to be the person that's like cast a spell, and then you're like, oh, Reader was right there, now he's gonna get hit, and I'm like, oh.
You know what though? I think that paints the perfect picture of, maybe it's your personality or maybe it's your guys' dynamic, but every other character in this campaign has probably either killed Reader or hurt him very harshly.
For that reason of not asking.
Yeah, because they don't know where he is. Just that's so funny.
I promise you, Luke, that I will try for as long as I can not to hurt you.
Which is it out already? The second, yeah, the second one's out, right?
Of
the multiverse. I don't know.
Animal Kingdom.
The not canon Animal Kingdom.
Oh
episodes.
yeah, so Christmas and Halloween, yeah, they're out.
Okay, like which is a partial reason why I want people to draw fan art. It's just because I'm like, high five the Grinch. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's very funny, very good.
And the other one's not even my fault. I tried very hard not to die in the Halloween episode.
You did. It
was
entirely your fault.
It was perfect.
Yeah. And then I think also, once again, I literally just listened to it. What did we do with the knife?
Gave it to Celeste, yeah.
Yeah, and that was like, I get what you're doing by being like, oh, he's giving all these items to Celeste, and like, me as a person, I'm like, all right, I see what he's setting up here. But Willie is like, I'm trying to think of him in character. He's like, okay, cool, Caesar's giving it to his friend.
Yeah.
Like, I did no further thought than that.
Yeah, hence why I was like, you know what, these guys don't seem to care, so I'm just gonna bring her in as one of the gang.
Yeah. Like, I'm guessing too, the main crew listening to this, they're just like, oh my god, they're doing this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're just so accepting, and then we're just like, we're oblivious.
Yeah, Davida and her comments is so funny. What? I can't believe I didn't realize this. Her sister is like, oh man, that totally was, the parallel I saw is perfect.
Which is why I try to avoid talking about some stuff, but I also like want to tell Davida everything.
Yeah, you're at a moment where you have to kind of figure out what you want.
It's kind of at a moment where Reader doesn't want to, but I do. That's like my main thing is I want to say it, but it's like there's no canonical reason.
Sure, yeah.
Or like even before I joined the show, like we did Hermit Chronicles, I sat in on that recording that you had that one time, and I was like, all right, I listened up, and then you were even like, well, we're like ahead, and I was like, okay, there are probably like one or two things I was like, I could probably like bridge the gap in my own brain, and then you guys immediately started playing, and I was like, I have no clue what's going on. And then like I was just like, I'm gonna follow the best I can, but then like I ended up being your guy in the chair where you guys were just like, oh, what are these D&D rules? And I was just sitting there on D&D Beyond, like copying and pasting it to you.
It's really helpful. Really helpful. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, every time I have a guest on, listeners, I let them come in, have kind of like a sit down, listen to us how how our dynamic is and our structure is, but it's never on like a released episode or an episode that's even close to the released episodes.
Yeah.
I think in recording wise, we're almost like we're close to maybe 25 episodes at this point, and as you can see, we've only released episode 13, so we're quite a difference. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna call it, unless Luke, you have any other last minute comments.
Draw fan art.
Yes, draw fan art. And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this tea break. Send us questions off our email or through a voice message on our website. You can catch all the updates and whatnot on our website and share the podcast. And yeah, you guys are just amazing. So thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye. And Luke waved.